Shows that make you laugh. Shows that make you think. Music that moves you. It could only be one place. Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi everybody, I'm Ron Brewington and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Brought to you by Photography as an Art, Harvey Brandman, master photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard in Burbank, California. And attorney Ron Irwin's newly released book, 5150, The Book, the story of the nearly 3 million men and women who went to war in Vietnam, now available from Lulu.com. And author Larry Buford's book To the Future, a time travel message in a capsule, now available in paperback from Amazon for only $17.95.
We are the Kinsey, America's favorite ragamuffin shop podcast. Big wheels keep on turning, and town turning. Trolling down river. I said it's the Kinsey Sixth Form accidentally at the Bette Midler concert, September 30th, 1993.
Bette Midler always made a touchstone for the group, the way she could seamlessly switch from campy and crass to poignant and thought-provoking and even heartbreaking.
When the lyrics are too schmaltzy, and the notes are held too long.
Hi everybody, what you just saw was our guest who is currently touring with America's favorite dragapella beauty shop quartet. They call themselves the Kinsey Six. Now he's a veteran actor writer who I met several years ago when he co-starred in the critically acclaimed play Bronzeville. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff Manabat. Jeff, welcome. It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yes,
you haven't aged a doggone bit. You're still looking G-double-O-D, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me, Ron.
Now you got, let's get right to it. You got 15 IMDb credits, actor credits.
Okay.
And your first credit in 2006 was, I Wanna Be a Republican.
Yes, it was a concert film that I did with the Kinsey Six, my drag a cappella group.
Okay.
And it was filmed up in San Francisco, and it was written during the Bush administration. And we were concerned with a lot of the politics that were happening, and it was, our response to it was to write a show.
Okay.
And our characters, Trixie, Winnie, Rachel, and Trampolina, were posing as candidates of the GOP and wanted to say some outrageous, outlandish things to point out the truly outrageous and outlandish things that the GOP were saying at the time. Weirdly, that show was written in 2006. I feel like it's as prescient and as relevant as it is today as it was back then. So I Want to Be a Republican, a very silly but serious at the same time concert film that I think that people should check out.
Okay. Now I understand you wrote this movie also.
I co-wrote it with the original members, Benjamin Schatz, Erwin Keller, and Chris Dilley. Actually, when the movie was being written, it was written as a stage show.
That's right.
And that version was written before I joined the group, or it was being formulated. And when it was put before camera, then it was further edited, and I helped with that process.
So now you got your first project behind you. So let's go back and ask, when and how did you first want to be an actor?
When and how? Oh gosh. That was ages ago. My first foray into acting was in the 3rd grade. I was in elementary school and thrust onto stage by my 3rd grade teacher.
In what city?
San Francisco. Born and raised.
Born and raised.
And I went to Catholic school. My 3rd grade teacher, Mr. Arthur Perez, Hi, Mr. Perez. Thank you so much for blessing me with that role. He wrote a musical, and he needed a lead actor, and he decided to utilize two of his students. One was myself, and the other was my identical twin brother. And
You have a twin?
I do, also an actor. Yes,
goodness.
and he lives and works in New York City. He was recently on & Butterfly on Broadway as one of the understudies. And anyway, so he cast the both of us in the same role.
Okay.
And it was a fun surprise performance where he and I switched off roles. I was doing the odd-numbered scenes, and my twin was doing the even-numbered scenes. And at the very end, we came together, and people had no idea that we were playing the same role. And then he was like, oh, I like this. This is a lot of fun. And that was my first play, my first taste of what it was like to be on stage. And from then on, I did a lot of musical theater. I sang in choirs, and in elementary school, there wasn't that much theater available to do, but a lot of singing. And then in high school, I took part in the choirs there, and then there was a musical theater program and did some theater there. And then college, a cappella and theater, and then after that, more theater, and here I am today.
Wow. I'm back at where you said you have a twin.
Oh,
The reason I am, because I'm a twin myself.
you are?
I'm UG, my brother's LY.
No way, identical?
And that's why we're so ugly. He got the UG, I got the LY. I'm 10 minutes older than him, and I let him know who's in charge.
Ted, I'm 6 minutes older than my
Get
twin.
back,
No,
get
where's your twin right now?
He's in Vegas. He lives in Vegas.
Okay.
He retired from the Navy, and like I did. And then I went and started teaching school. He went and sat home at his house in Vegas.
Oh, nice. Okay. And are you guys in touch a lot?
Oh, 2 or 3 times a day.
That's
And
wonderful.
We argue, fuss, and fight. What? Get off my phone.
No!
Really, I love you. No, I love you too.
My brother and I are the
Yes.
same way.
yes.
We are in touch all the time. He's my best friend. Growing up with your best friend, it's really something special.
Yes, it is.
And I'm in touch with him every single day, and we talk about love and life and career. And it's really interesting that we both went into this performing arts career. You know, we in college studied something else. He studied economics. I studied English literature. But on the side, we were doing this thing called acting. I was like, well, what are we doing? Like, why are we studying this thing? But we want to do this. And then after college, we're like, you know what? It's time to get serious about this. And we both ended up in the same trajectory, performing arts.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
Outstanding.
yeah.
Please give him my best, please. And
I will.
let him know that another twin from the heart of another
Oh,
twin to him.
that is so cool. It's so
Wow.
cool to meet another
Wow.
twin.
Now, 2007, you didn't have nothing. Then in 2008, you played an assistant in TV series Magic's Biggest Secrets, finally revealed.
Yeah.
Okay. Then in 2009, you got a role as a clerk in the short film Boy Crazy.
Boy Crazy, that was a lot of fun.
Okay. How difficult, if at all, was it for you to get work as an actor during that time frame?
I thought it was, well, I work full time with the Kinsey Six.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff that I've done in LA has been when I was available
Okay.
to just do things in the first place. And everyone knows that it's already difficult when you live full time in LA to book anything. So I'm already busy working as an actor in my a cappella group.
Okay.
You know, so things like Boy Crazy or the other one that you mentioned, it was like, okay, what can I fit into my schedule to audition for? And then what are people going to say, hey, I want you in my project? And so I've been very lucky to participate in projects that have been meaningful to me. Boy Crazy was a short musical that I was able to participate in. I wish I did a little bit more in it, but it was my first taste of what it was like to be on camera in a musical in LA. And I met a lot of good people there. And I've come to see that LA is very, very, very hard to work with. But if you work hard, you get the rewards. And a lot of people here, I feel like, are working hard to make something happen, and it's happening. You know, people say that LA is just is too disparate. It's not connected. It's disconnected. But you make your connections.
Yes, you do.
That's what you have to do here in LA. It forces you to make connections.
Yes, good
And that's
point.
what I love about it. It's
Yes.
like the people who stick around are the people who really want to do it.
Okay. Getting work as an Asian actor, how hard is that in this town?
It's getting better,
Okay.
I think. I'm seeing a lot more representation and seeing actors cast who are not cast because they're Asian, but because they're talented. And I like that. And I think growing up, I was missing out on representation in film and TV. San Francisco is a very Asian and Asian American city. And I was I was. I feel like I didn't understand why San Francisco felt a certain way, but portrayals of San Francisco in film and TV was not the same. It was very white, and if there were other races in there, it was either African American or Latino, and I wasn't seeing enough Asian American or Asian representation. And when it was Asians who didn't speak English as a first language. So that was odd to me, because when I was growing up, schools, elementary school, high school, and college. I went to Lowell High School. I went to Berkeley. 40%, 50%, 60% of my classes were Asian or Asian American. And I go watch TV, see shows based in San Francisco. Where are my Asian brothers and sisters? It's just not happening. But today, I'm seeing it more, and I'm very glad to see that. And I think that eyes are opening to giving more voice to diverse faces.
Yes.
And I feel like one of my missions, one of the things I do, I keep as a value to keep me going, is just to be a face, an Asian American face out there on film, on TV, in theater, so that the next generation can see this is there. I am being represented. Yes. So something like here, I want to be a Republican. The first thing, 2006. Like, this was around the time that RuPaul's Drag Race was still happening, was still in its infancy. But this group has been around for 25 years. And when I joined, I was the first Asian American face in the group. And I think that there was a misconception that Asians can't speak English as a first language. It's very strange. One of my first theater experiences outside of the Bay Area was in Daytona Beach, Florida. In a Seaside Music Theater, I was doing a production of Miss Saigon. And one of the actors was telling me, I had no idea that Asian people can speak English so well. And it struck me as being a profoundly odd statement. As someone coming from San Francisco, it was a given that you either speak with an accent or you don't. It's not weird, but for him, it was the first time, and I wasn't, we weren't 8-year-olds. We were adults, and this was the first time he was experiencing this. So that really put in my mind, like, oh, we need to be out there representing ourselves. We can't just rely on people to cast us. So I want to be available out there representing Asian and Asian Americans in America. And, when I'm writing with my group, I want to make sure that that voice is heard.
I'm glad you talked about the change. Look at what's going on currently when the word immigration comes up. People get hostile. They get real nasty.
Yeah.
This started as a country was because of immigration, and now we're seeing people of all colors coming into this country. San Francisco, L.A., these are all diverse headquarters. These are where a lot of people from all races come and dwell at.
Yeah.
And yet still some people just have problems with that.
I don't understand that. And even within the bubbles of San Francisco and L.A. and New York, there are still people who have a problem with immigration.
Yes.
We say immigration like it's a bad word now.
Oh, they're going to take my job.
Oh, goodness gracious. They're
Yes.
going to take my job, as if Americans who are born in America are going to take some of the low-paying jobs that immigrants do. My father worked and still continues to work as a chef at a restaurant, beloved restaurant, Pacific Cafe in San Francisco. And I don't know many Americans, many of my peers, who would do the same job for that long. He's worked there for more than 30 years as a chef, and it's hard work. Immigrants do a lot of the hard work in this country. They pick the strawberries, they pick the food, they make the food, and we're demonizing them? That doesn't make sense to me. And as someone who has family members who are immigrants, it dismays me to hear this kind of conversation happening in our country right now. We are a nation of immigrants, voluntary and involuntary. And this is not something that we should be demonizing. It's something that we should be celebrating and helping people who come to this country. They want to make a better life. Why are we making it harder for them to come in? It doesn't make sense to me.
One of my brown brothers was telling me, he said, when the minorities, particularly Mexicans, stop cooking for one day in this town or stop doing the work that they do, it'll come to a shut.
Yeah.
It'll stop.
It will stop.
It will stop.
When immigrants stop working in cooking, in cleaning, in in farming,
Right.
what is going to happen to this country? This country cannot operate without its immigrants.
No.
Yeah.
People with bad minds see you and ignore you. They don't see the person. I'm an African American. They don't see that. Well, get out of the way.
Yeah.
I say to you, get out of my way. I'm coming. I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
Me and those who come behind me, we're all coming up together.
Right.
Right.
And whether or not you like it,
Yes.
we're already here.
Thank you.
We're already here, and we have a voice.
Right. Pat Brown is one of them. The governor that we're losing, Pat Brown, for years he's done a lot of good things in certain areas. I was looking at 60 Minutes last night, and he and his wife, they're about to retire. Next year he's going to retire, but he has done a lot in his time. So,
Yeah,
like
I think he's a good governor.
good governor.
Yeah.
You know, and people who have your word can be heard at the ballot box. Go there and vote. I hear too many people say, well, my vote don't mean nothing. But you multiply it by 1 million.
It means everything.
It means everything. Please, are you crazy?
It means everything.
Right.
I also don't understand people who withhold their vote. Like, oh, I can't vote because I'm just voting for the lesser of two evils. Well, you know what? Then the most evil person gets up there and becomes...
Don't get me started.
Oh, well, it's too late. It's
We
too
call
late.
him 45. Don't get me started.
Well, we're going to talk about it later.
Okay.
Because
All
we've
right.
got, my group actually has a show that has responded to the election. Whether we like it or not, my group is very political. Well, I like it a lot. And whether the general audience is into it or not, I think we have a voice and we want to use it.
Yes.
And there's something in the atmosphere right now where people don't want their entertainers to talk politics or their sports figures to talk politics.
Yes.
Why is that the case?
They
Politics is part of our lives, as is entertainment. And if we ignore that, then unfortunately bad things start happening.
The excuse is, well, I see that all the time. I came to a baseball game or football game. I want to see the game. I don't want to hear about that. That's the excuse that you
That's
get.
the excuse. Well, you know what? You're not seeing it enough.
Yeah.
I think if it bothers someone to see someone kneeling during a football game, and it doesn't bother them to see someone in a cage,
Right.
what are your morals?
Right.
You
Because,
know?
you know, it's interesting to note that people who could wake up one day and look like you or look like me, they would change their whole life.
Oh, yes.
We're minorities. We've lived with it all our lives.
Yes, we have.
Through the ups and the downs, the lamb among wolves and all that good stuff. We've been there and done that.
We've been there, we've done that, and we see it in our entertainment. And when it's not spoken, it's problematic.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, Jeff, we can talk about a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, just one thing. I just want to go
Yes,
back
please.
to entertainment and sports.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
It was happening in the Olympics.
Yes.
Let's not forget
Yes.
that you know, in Jesse Owens and Muhammad Ali and this is in our history that we talk about politics or bring politics in our sports and entertainment. It has never been the case that we don't talk about this.
Right.
So if you got a problem with that, I'm sorry, but we're going to continue to have a problem with that because we need to talk about it. It's a problem, so we have to talk about
I
it.
remember when 45 was getting ready to try to give a pardon to Muhammad Ali, his people called him back and said, thanks, but no thanks. We don't need a pardon. He got a pardon a long time ago.
Exactly.
The Supreme Court took care of that. He don't need your pardon.
Yeah, read your history, Mr.
Right, read your
45.
history. Yes.
Yeah, and don't use Muhammad Ali for his purposes.
His
Please
purposes.
don't.
Right, indeed. What kind of roles do you look for?
I look for roles that are meaningful to me. I think that I'm very lucky as an actor in LA to have a group, to be singing and performing in a group that is very meaningful to me. We write our own material and we present stuff that I think it resonates with us and resonates with our audience. And when I'm working outside of the group, I want to work in things that if the role itself is not large, that the production has a voice, that it's saying something. And I'm very lucky to have been in things like that. And of course, you know, every actor has to get a job that pays the bills. So sometimes we get things that don't necessarily say anything or is just comedic. But that's okay. Everyone has to work.
Right.
So for actors who feel like that they're just trudging along, something's going to come up, or make something like
Right.
yourself.
Central Casting, go up there in Burbank, other places,
Or
find a job.
Find a job, or YouTube, make your own
Thank
work.
you. Make your work.
You know,
Right.
we are very lucky to be living in today,
Yes.
because in the past we weren't able to give voice to ourselves. I think that someone like Anna May Wong, who was a prominent Asian American actress in the early 20th century, she can only be cast in the roles that she was cast in. She had no power as a producer or a director, and she was unfortunately used unfairly. You know, there was a movie called The Good Earth that was about the Chinese experience, and they cast white actors in the lead roles. And she was the only prominent Asian American actor. Why can't you have her? And yes, there was a law
Yes.
that didn't allow Asians and whites to marry. So you think, oh, because I cast a white actor, the wife can't be Asian. That's a terrible excuse. And so you're going to instead have a white actor play and a role that only, it's terrible. It's terrible. And now, if she was alive today, she could make something. We're so lucky to be able to give voice to ourselves and put that out into the world. And the next generation, they see that, and it's less of a problem.
Yes, yes, it is. Okay, 2011. That was a good year for you. You had 4 roles that year. You had Get Thee Behind Me, you had E-Cupid, and you had Leave It on the Floor.
Oh, Leave It on the Floor was a wonderful musical. It took place. Took place in the ball scene, which I think now is getting a lot of attention because of an FX show called. Oh my goodness! It's leaving my mind. That FX show. I'm sorry, I can't name it right now, but it's wonderful. But it's out there. I'm really. You'll find it FX. It's fabulous. I can see it. I can see it in my mind. But anyway, so back then, it concentrated on the ball scene, and my role was as one of the Asian American faces in a predominantly African American movie, and I was very lucky to take part in it, and I'm glad that it's at least getting Pose. That's the name of that. Pose.
Hey.
Yes, Pose.
See, it takes a little long to
Takes
get
a
there,
little
but
long
you
to
get
get
it.
there. But I'm not in it. But one of the members of the cast, of the main cast of Pose, is actually on Leave It on the Floor. And I was lucky to be exposed to that. And I had never seen that before. And now it's getting national attention. It's absolutely wonderful that so much diversity has always been happening in this country.
Yes, yes.
And now we're seeing more of it in our
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Good to see that.
Yeah.
2012, 3 roles, Sublime Children film. It was a film, and Dawn.
Dawn, yes, a short film that I again was very lucky to take part of, and the writer-director based it on a personal experience that he had and expanded upon it, where my character and another character get into a tussle, and what's unknown is that my character is actually the boyfriend of the other person that I get into a tussle with, but the boyfriend is in the closet. So they found out later that that guy who beats me up in the film, he beat up his brother's boyfriend.
Okay.
Without knowing.
Without knowing.
And so this short film explores relationships and staying in the closet and the costs of staying in the closet.
Okay. All right. Okay, 2012, you also had other things going, but then it had to wait until a movie came around. Something in my throat. You did a role in a damn good play called Bronzeville.
Yes.
Can you please roll that video, please?
For those who don't know what Bronzeville is or was, in 1942, the U.S. entered the war. Here in Los Angeles, there was Little Tokyo, not far from here, not far from where it was sitting. When Roosevelt passed the law of internment of Japanese Americans because of Pearl Harbor, Japanese Americans in this area and in just about everywhere in the United States were taken from their homes one of those homes communities being Little Tokyo here in Los Angeles. There was an exodus going on from the South. Black people were leaving the South, leaving racism, prejudice, Jim Crow, leaving to look for a better life. And one of the places they migrated to was here, California, Los Angeles. And Little Tokyo was available at that time because it had been emptied, put it that way, by the U.S. government. And so something like 40,000 African Americans over the years, over about a 3-4 year period, landed in Little Tokyo, lived there, took over some of the businesses, started some of their own businesses, and had a community through to the end of World War II.
Wow, that was my good friend and yours, Ben Guillory, the artistic director of the Roby Theater at LATC in downtown Los Angeles. Tell us about that role, please.
It's one of my favorite roles. I'm very lucky, again, to have done this, but man, Bronzeville was based on some real-life stories where in the 1940s, in World War II, the Japanese Americans were incarcerated because of their ancestry, and the United States and Japan were at war, and the American citizens of Japanese descent were unfairly incarcerated. And this play was based on the real-life story of some Japanese citizens who went against that rule for Japanese Americans to be taken out of their neighborhoods. And in this play, my character, he doesn't leave his house. He stays there, he stays behind, and he stays up in the attic. And an African-American family migrating from the South, like many who did, move into his house. And he tries to stay there, and they uncover him. And so the rest of the play is about, what do we do? The intersection of Asian Americans and Caucasian Americans is explored a lot in other plays, and African Americans and Caucasian Americans is also explored. But here is the intersection of Asian Americans and African Americans during World War II, and we don't see that very often. And I don't remember seeing that at all growing up. Mm-hmm. And here in this play, we see the struggle for the family. And do they act as good citizens and turn him in because it's the law for Japanese Americans to be incarcerated, or do they act as good people and protect him? And in the play, one of the members of the family, the father, he decides that it's too great of a risk for his family. Because in the 1940s, African Americans weren't treated well either.
No.
Minorities just weren't treated well in general back then. And so he decided, for the sake of his family, to turn him in. And then in the tail end of the play, what happens is that my character ends up going to jail and then forced to join the army. And as is widely known now, Japanese Americans who fought in World War II were among the most highly decorated soldiers in World War II. And unfortunately, they lost many, 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 many people, had many casualties. But that in that play, spoiler alert, unfortunately, my character passes away, and the family has to deal with the ramifications of sending someone to their death. They were good citizens, but were they good people? And that question lingers in the air. And that question is actually something that I think that the play leaves us with. Will we be good citizens, or will we be good people? There are laws and there are morals, and sometimes the two don't intersect.
Exactly.
And that play struggles with that, or it deals with that struggle. And I think that we continue to deal with that struggle in this country. And I love how theater is able to grapple with that and bring that to light.
Right.
And that's something that happened in World War II. Mm-hmm. We think we left that question a long time ago, but here we are again, dealing with that question, laws versus morals. What do we follow?
It was a great play. I mean, we all sat there like this in the play. from particularly at the end,
Yeah.
when they had to come when you passed away. Oh, it's just how did you do any special preparation for that play?
I did. I did a lot of reading
I see.
of the time period and some of the letters that were written from the Japanese American soldiers to family back home. I visited the Japanese American Museum in Little Tokyo, and I also had to grapple with the physicality of the character, because this person did not eat 3 meals a day. This person stayed behind and had to eat scraps. And me, I live in LA and live a modern life. I'm pretty happy, But to truly embody this character, I didn't have to just be in his mind, but I felt like I needed to be in his body. So I lost 30 to 40 pounds to get my physicality to understand what it was like to be in that emotion, that physical state, and that physical state affects your emotional state. And what is it like to have to handle this kind of world when you're physically weak? And that was part of my preparation, is that mentally, where do I need to be, and physically, where do I need to be, and had to combine that.
Wow. Okay, Joe. We've talked all about all the years that you've done in radio and film and television, but now let's go back to the year 2004, because it was that year, as you know, you joined a group called the Kinsey Six.
Yes. Yes.
Roll it, sir.
We are the Kinsey Six, America's favorite ragabella beauty shop quartet. Big queens keep on turning, and down turning. Woo! Trolling, 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 trolling on the river. I said we're trolling, 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 trolling on the river. The Kinsey Six formed accidentally at a Bette Midler concert, December 30th, 1993.
Bette Midler always remained a touchstone for the group, the way she could seamlessly switch from campy and crass to poignant and thought-provoking and even heartbreaking.
When the lyrics are too schmaltzy, and the notes are held too long. Really, in 24 years, has it never occurred to you that perhaps there are some things that we shouldn't say?
All the right places have white faces. Only white faces have the right graces. All the white places have a legitimate basis. The church, the club, the GOP, we need an oasis.
People always come up to us after the show and say, do you have to be so political? Yes, we do. Creepy and he's spooky. This house is David Dookie. He'll grab you in the pookie and add his family. Oh!
Who always do without a clue, wondering who knows what to do. Fascism sits with Putin in the
That's the way we've been gamed by shady Trumps. Rent a homo for your party. We will send us what you like. If it's dressy and you need a lassie,
we'll send a socially acceptable dyke.
To hell with science and Bible rules! Play with this gun, it's really cool. I'm close, straight out.
Do we always have to be so goddamn filthy?
if you insist.
No! Here!
So a funny thing happened as we were writing this show. A nostalgic look at 24 years of the Kinsey Six. Shit happened. And we find ourselves right back where we started.
Hey, all right. The Kinsey Six.
Yes.
We're going to take a short break.
Okay.
Jeff. But when we return, more with actor-writer Jeff Manabat as the Actor's Choice continues. The studio of Harvey Brandman Photography as an Artist, proud to offer a $100 discount off of any photo package for you or your family, valued at $300 or more. Now, Harvey's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of you as a customer. So, please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on the Actor's Choice. 5150, the book. It's the latest from author Ron Irwin. As a young Marine, Irwin spent 13 months in Chulai, Republic of Vietnam. His experience in the place where nearly 3 million Americans went to war was, as he puts it, 5150. That's crazy. The book in paperback, currently available for $7.95 at lulu.com. That's lulu.com. And by the way, Irwin told me last night, he said, be sure you tell people that he will give 20% of net proceeds of book sales split equally between the VFW and the Vietnam Veterans of America. Okay? Book to the Future is a new book our new sponsor, author Larry Buford, has for sale. Now, Book to the Future is a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. Back to the Future is a time travel message in a capsule. It's now available for $17.95 in paperback from Amazon. Please get your copy today. Now, here's a question. Can one woman hold the keys to unlock the mysteries of love? Do you believe that laughter and music is the best medicine for the soul? Well, get your tickets now and take this love journey as my good buddy and actress, singer Toni Malone presents her musical, It's All About Love, this coming Saturday, June 30th at the Hermosa Beach Community Theater, 710 Pier Avenue, Hermosa Beach. Doors open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. For more information, call 424-888-4197. That's 424-888-4197. And finally, if you have a product, service, or an upcoming event that you'd like to be advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. And by the way, our prices are very affordable. Thank you. Today we're talking with actor and writer Jeff Manabat. I'm your host, Ron Brewington, and this is The Actor's Choice. Okay, Jeff, just
Ron.
Before the break. Yes, sir.
Before we speak again,
Please.
I just want to say, I love that one of the pictures that's being shown is actually a picture of my identical twin brother.
Get back!
Yes! I'm not going to say which one. I want people to guess.
Oh,
and find
my goodness.
It's awesome.
Wow.
That's how much we look the same.
It's amazing. It's amazing. There's a bond, like we say, between twins.
Yes.
Yes. I think one of the biggest bonds me and my brother talk about is it's dirty, but you know, we want to know who's going to die first, not the other one's going to take it.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's reality. That's reality. I don't like to talk about it, but I was at a funeral this weekend for my dear friend Michael Jackway Jr. And then today, Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson's father, he passed away today.
Oh, I didn't.
So it's been a gruesome time when you talk about that passing of people. But it's what's going to happen. It's what's going to happen to us.
Happens to all of us.
You were talking about you and the Kinsey Six. Where did you get that name from?
The Kinsey Six. Well, do you know about the Kinsey scale?
I'm a little bit.
Okay.
Educate me.
I'll educate you. There was Dr. Alfred Kinsey was a sexologist in the 1940s, 1950s, and he came up with this scale of human sexuality.
Okay.
Where from 0 to 6, where 0 has primarily heterosexual experiences or feelings, and a 6 is primarily homosexual or experiences or feelings. So Kinsey 6 is a play off of that. Of course, the number 6 is not what we're using. We're actually using the word 6, S-I-C-K-S, to reflect kind of our sixth sense of humor. So we're a quartet called The Six.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, you got into the group in 2004. Why did you want to be involved with them in the first place?
Well, first, I saw the group before I joined the group, and I thought this was the most hysterical yet poignant thing I had ever seen, and it combined theater and a cappella and politics all in this crazy amalgamation with these wacky characters, and I'd never seen anything like that before. And in college, I was involved in musical theater and a cappella. I sang with a group called the UC Men's Octet in Berkeley, and I was a musical director there, and we won the first place in the national competition for collegiate a cappella. And after graduating, I was thinking, okay, my a cappella world is behind me. It's going to be only acting, and acting is either going to be plays or musical theater or TV and film. I never thought all of that could be combined in one thing. And I saw the group, and I thought, that can't possibly be for me. They're not going to want me. and I was doing this musical called When Pigs Fly in San Francisco.
Big line, yes.
Called the theater was called the New Conservatory Theater, and the Kinsey Six also did a lot of shows there, and that's where I saw them. And weirdly enough, members of the group saw me there, and they were looking for an understudy or a replacement for their group, and they thought, hey, why don't you audition for us? And I said, sure, why not? And I auditioned for them, and I have to say it was one of the most fun auditions I ever had. And people panic, and sometimes at auditions and aren't feeling prepared enough. And I thought, oh, this is so fun! I love these guys. They're funny and a cappella and wacky sense of humor and queer and political. It was all these things, and I thought, what a great fit! But they're not gonna want me, and they wanted me, and I wanted them, and then it was a marriage made in heaven.
Wow.
Or a marriage made on earth here. That's,
All right.
that's where we're playing.
Right.
That's where we're playing. Mm-hmm.
Now, Jeff, I hate to ask this question, but what sort of person or audience should see the Kinsey Six?
I think everyone should see the Kinsey
Thank
Six.
you. Thank you.
Everyone should
Thank
see
you.
the Kinsey Six. Left, right, center, whatever your politics are. When the group started, it started primarily as something fun.
Okay.
It was started by a group of friends, and in the 1990s, two of them were lawyers. One, Ben Schatz, who's still in the group, Harvard trained, graduated Harvard Law, also worked with Bill Clinton and helped his
Clinton, yes.
Yes, Mr. Clinton helped his AIDS policy
Right.
during the 90s, and he helped craft that, and he was also the executive director of the Gay Lesbian Medical Association. And then he and his friends, it was the 90s, and it was a dark time for the gay community, and they needed an outlet. They needed to have some fun. And he and his friends, one night at a Bette Midler concert in San Francisco, decided to go there and drag, and they wanted to see other drag queens there, but they were the only drag queens at the Bette Midler show. Well, other than Bette Midler, So a presenter was there and saw them and said, hey, why don't you perform at my show or at my event? And they said, we don't sing. Because they were just having fun, they're just friends out to have fun at the Bette Midler concert. So they were going home from the Bette Midler concert, totally engaged by her and inspired. They discovered that they all sang. And they formulated the group that night and had their first public performance on a street corner in San Francisco, and the group was born. And I think that the audience back then was primarily like friends or passersby on the street corner, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And now we perform in all kinds of places. We don't perform in street corners anymore.
Okay, moving on up.
We move on up. We now perform at performing arts centers, and when we just did an off-Broadway run in New York, and we had one actually back in 2001 before I joined the group. We had a run in Las Vegas. We've performed internationally in Canada, the Edinburgh Fringe, in Australia, in Mexico, just all over the place. So we have performed, I think, for everyone.
How about us folks here in LA and Hollywood?
In LA! And we have performed in LA. We did a
Wow.
show at the Pacific Design Center some years ago, and we don't have anything on the calendar yet in LA, but we will be seen soon on national television on The Gong Show. I can't talk about how that how we performed,
Yes.
but we will be there performing very soon.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so I do think, back to your original question, so sorry about that.
That's okay.
Everyone should see the show.
Right.
And we've had people who are actually, and we wear our left-wing politics on our sleeves. I think it's pretty obvious. We have a show called Things You Shouldn't Say Right Now, and I think you'll see on the cover that it's us screaming at a face of Donald Trump. Oh, should we say 45?
45.
And the politics are obvious, I think, just from the picture. But we've had conservative people come to see this show. This show is very, I think, very open, very truthful, very honest, and it can get very dark. And we're a very lighthearted group, but we speak our truths. And the conservatives who have seen this thank us for opening their eyes to a perspective that they wouldn't have been open to before. And I think that it's easier to swallow our message because we do it in drag and in song and in with barbershop, because it's such a throwback. We're not beating people over the head with these messages in our suits and ties. We're singing these messages instead, and it's easier to listen to that.
Okay. Well, Jeff, I want to see some more. The Kinsey Six performing, and tell me why you should not come see it. Roll it, sir.
We are the Kinsey Six, America's favorite Dragabella beauty shop quartet. Big queens keep on turning, and towers keep on churning. Woo! Trolling, 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 trolling on the river. I said we're trolling, 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 trolling on the river. Take the word Democrat. Eliminate the D. Eliminate the E. Eliminate the M and the O and the C and the A and the G and an N and an I, another I, and M, another M, and then mix the letters up. You want to know what it spells? Immigrant! Woo! Coincidence? I don't think so. Trixie, you're an anchor baby. What do you have to say for yourself? Anchor baby, that's how folks in the GOP see me. An unlawful bad girl, no Yankee baby. Mom plucked me here to give me birthright. Since I'm an anchor baby, my 54 first cousins come to yoo-hoo. They clean your homes and feed your swanker babies, then get free stuff to give me tonight. They're not like our great colonists, who didn't need a visa or face waiting lists. The natives got a brand new god and got genocide with their genesis. We welcome swanker babies who look like Huguenots, but please not Pol Pot. If they're gonna come here, bring bankers' babies, somebody who Mitt Romney would like. Anchor babies, they bring in cankers and rabies. Anger, honey, that's something you don't want or need. Oh, you peed. We mow your lawns, it's all fine. No anger, honey. So sure deport my family tonight. No more rape or drugs or STDs. Come and strip my liberties. The 14th Amendment's a formality. I really don't believe that you get lots in store when you believe that we are anchor babies. You forget just one little thing, voting. I won't go voting alone, this anchor baby. I'll bring my family with me, all right.
Hey, that's great, man. That's good work.
Thank you.
And I saw you out front there in the front. Minus the beard, of course.
Minus the beard.
Yes. Now, you do have a character that
Yes.
you always play. Who is that character?
Yeah. That character, as you saw, is Trixie, and she is the resident gold digger of the group.
Gold digger?
She uses her body and her wits and her glamour to seduce people into giving her the things that she wants.
Yes.
But in the end, the group is wanting to tell a good message to the audience. It's not just about their personal selfish foibles, but each character actually has some funny quirks about them. So my character is very selfish and glamorous, and then there's Rachel with the bow, and she's this really kind of outrageous and almost trucker character. And Winnie is the arch conservative, the den mother of the group, and Trampolina is a girl with a heart of gold but the brain of bricks.
Okay.
She just doesn't know sometimes what she's talking about. But we all, we say we despise each other, but in the end we love each other and we love our group. And I just want to say that last clip was Anchor Baby from our show, Electile Dysfunction, where the 4 girls run for president. And we wrote that for the 2016 election. And they were running as Republicans. And unfortunately they lost. And I feel like everybody lost.
Yeah.
And we were trying to outrage everybody, but obviously now we've come into a place where now every day is an outrage, and we have another show that responds to that.
Now, you guys get on the road. How often do you get on the road?
Probably 50 to 60% of the year we're on the road. Wow. Yeah, it varies, and last year was especially busy because we were traveling internationally, went to Scotland and Australia, and probably 70% of that time we were out.
Okay. What does drag mean to you?
For me personally?
Yes.
Gosh, drag can mean so many things. It's a huge palette. I think that some people use drag as an outlet just to express themselves. Some people use drag as a stepping stone to exploring their gender identity and eventually become, they discover that they are trans. Right. But some people use it just because it's fun.
Gotcha.
There's other people who just use it as an acting tool, like Barry Humphries as Dame Edna. I don't know if he's queer. I don't think he is. I think he's a straight man. But his most prolific character is Dame Edna. So he does drag, So drag can mean so many different things. And obviously now there's RuPaul's Drag Race, which is a huge cultural phenomenon that I didn't think that America would be ready for.
And he just won a big award too.
And it won Emmys. My God! And America is changing, but it's not new. Drag has been around for a very long time. Yes. Yeah, and my group has been around for 25 years. And I've been in it since 2003, 2004. Wow. Yeah.
We could go on talking this forever and ever. I understand we got to go, but before we go, I got one quick question I got to ask you.
Okay.
And that is, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as a good person.
Damn.
I want to be remembered for the good things I've left behind. Hopefully, I've left good things behind.
We got to get you back here, Jeff.
I'd love to be back.
Again.
Yeah.
Special thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, attorney Ron Irwin, and Larry Buford. Also want to thank our guest, Jeff Manabat. Thank you very, very much for stopping by today. We're going to play it on the outside. Oh, of course, I want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Can you go ahead and roll us out on that video, please?
And we're still the characters, and we get to communicate with people about the issues we're bringing up.
I mean, I have had people come up after the show and say, you really made me think. And I love that. We're not cats. We're not there just to make people sort of sit back and relax and have a pleasant time. We're there to challenge people.
You and I are going to take a stand, for traditional marriage.
It's not easy earning your living as an artist, let alone out of the closet queer, let alone political. And we do it with integrity and with some chutzpah.
Just turn them off, you don't need them.